Hello and welcome to OBS Setup and Stream, your easy guide to OBS Studio for crafters. I'm Anthony Minnis from Mix Media. In previous videos I've shown you how to set up the sources and the scenes. Now you want to transition between your scenes, but maybe it's getting a little bit messy. What transition goes with what scene? And if you're like me, you have lots and lots of scenes and the transitions can get a little bit mixed up. So in this video I'm going to show you how to organise all of those transitions for your scenes. If you like the content of this video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and click on the notifications button. This will allow you to be notified of all brand new content that I upload to my YouTube channel. Right, before we dive into OBS Studio, you will need to go and install the transition plugin. So please go and have a look for part 3 and that will show you how to do that. Okay, diving into OBS Studio, I've already set up some scenes. They're just colours here, but just to show you how everything works. So you can see there we have got the fade transition. So if we click there, it fades between. You can change the duration of the transition, and you can also change the type of transition as well between your different scenes. So there we go, that's how that part works. Right, let's go into studio mode. So just click on the studio mode and that will bring up our two windows, the preview and the program. So now you can see we have queued up the logo and we're going to then bring that on with a slide up transition. So if you want to add a transition, just go down to the add and we're going to add a slide transition. We're then going to name it. So we're just going to go slide and then we're going to go down and click on OK to confirm it. It then takes you to this window where you can actually do the direction of the transition. We've gone down, we're just going to preview that. When you're happy, then click on OK. So now we've created our new slide transition, let's go and try that out. So just click on the scene and there it goes. So like I say, you can speed up the duration if you should so wish. Going into the center panel here, this is another place where you can actually add the transitions. They're like quick transitions. So once you've actually built them in the lower part, you can add them here. So there you go, there's our transitions that we've actually built, and we can add those into basically the quick guide or the quick buttons which are in that center part. So if I click on one of those, it will do exactly that. It's also got that slide bar there, so if you want to, you can actually manually change over that transition. Okay, let's go and add a brand new transition. So we're going to go into the scene transition window there. We're just going to go on the drop down and we are going to add let's have a look. There we're going to go for a Luma wipe. Again, just name the wipe whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it as default at the moment because on the Luma wipe there are loads of different ones. So I'm just going to go and find one there. Let's go for the stripes. So click on the stripes and again just preview it just to make sure it's going to be working okay. And then when you're happy with that, click on the OK button. So I'm just going to try that once more and yep, happy with that, click on OK. As I mentioned to you with the Luma wipes, there's loads of different types of wipes, so we're just going to rename that one and we're just going to simply call it Luma, and I'm just going to type in stripes. Again, as always, click on OK just to confirm that one. So there we go, the Luma stripes is in there. Again, we can add that because we've now added that into the memory, so there it sits at the bottom there. So I've added there to the quick buttons in the middle, and I'm just going to manually just make sure that works. There we go, with the slider bar. And with all the transitions, you can just use the scene names to actually change between one and the other using that transition. So there we go, that's how that one works. But there's another tool, and this is the handy tool. So go on to Tools, go down to Transition Table. Now it's going to get interesting because you can tell OBS Studio what scene you're coming from, what scene you're going to, and then what type of transition you're going to be using, and then also the duration of that transition. So basically you can tell OBS Studio what it's going to transition between any of your scenes. It can be a different transition and it can be a different duration. So I'm just going to set up a few here. So I'm going to go on the from, and that will bring up all of the scenes that I have in OBS Studio. So I'm just going to go pink on that one, and the scene we want to transition to, which is orange, and the type transition, and I'm just going to go slide up. The duration I'm going to keep as that, and then click set button. That will then put that into its memory. You can then just keep on building all of your different scenes, what type of transition and what type of duration, as long as you remember to click on the set part at the end. That's going to put it into its memory. So I'm just going to build a couple of more. I'm going to go green and go to red, and the transition I'm going to use there on the drop down menu is right swipe, and again click on the set button. Just close that one down completely and then reopen it. So go up to tools again and click on transition table, which will then bring up all of those ones that you've actually set in OBS Studio. If there is a transition between the scenes you don't like, simply find it, click on the box next to it, and just then click on the delete button. I'm going to close that because I'm happy with everything. So I'm just going to test this out. Now you'll notice that basically if you haven't set up a transition between two different scenes, it will use the default one. The default is the one that is listed in the scene transition towards the bottom right of your screen. Now what I normally do out of habit is just go in there and just check to make sure that the right transition is being used. Okay, and maybe the default one you will want to change as well. You can always go back into the transition table and you can always add more, and again it's simply going to the drop down to the from, which is going to go from pink here, and we're going to go to the scene that is the logo, and the transition we want is the fade. And again, okay, just make sure everything is set in there and click on set. Again, I'm just going to add another one here. We're going to go from the logo and we're going to go to the scene pink. The transition I'm going to use here is, let's go down, and we're going to go slide down, or should we go right swipe? We go right swipe, and again just set that in and then close that down, and again you can go back in and then you will see that has been added to the list of all the other transitions that you previously programmed into OBS Studio. And that's how easy it is to use the transition table here in OBS Studio. If you've liked the content of this video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and click on the notifications button. This will allow you to be notified of all brand new content and upload to my YouTube channel. That's it for this one. As always, thanks for watching.